Hi, I'm Gail and welcome back to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Today we're going to make a low-carb chicken Alfredo. It is really good, and yes, I'm using my spiral machine again, and we are going to make some more zucchini zoodles. You can use squash in this recipe if you'd like. I just love the zucchini because it's really good for the carb count and it's really healthy, and I eat a lot of zucchini, and this week I was really having trouble getting nice zucchini, but I got a good deal, and you'll see it in the video anyway. So let's get started, and I will show you how to make this great recipe. So we're going to use our zucchini. I've cut it in half, and I'm just going to use my spiral vegetable slicer. You can see in the background I put the box there so that you can see that it's President's Choice, and it's an awesome product to have. Now, instead of using the zucchini, you could use summer squash of some sort, or even your yellow zucchini is really nice. Now, I lucked out. I went to get zucchini today at the grocery store, and they didn't look very good, so I took 3, and then when I went to the discount cart, they had them on for $1, so I ended up getting 5 of them. These aren't that big, but I got 5 of them for $1 because the prices are ridiculous. I think it was $1.97 a pound or whatever. So I bought 2 packages because they had them, and that's approximately the size that I got. And I used all 5 of them. That I just use this machine, and then I will store the leftovers that I'm not going to use. But in the recipe, I will tell you how much to use for it. And the carb count is amazing on zucchini, so I don't think it really hurts if you put extra in. Now, this is what you end up with when you're using this machine. So I just usually slice them up and I use them in my salads, whatever I want to use them up in. So that's just a pointer that maybe you'd like to save them, because it is a waste. In fact, I want to just point out that they had avocados for $1, and there's 4 of them, and they are perfect to make your guacamole or put them in your salads or whatever. So look at that bargain cart, because it's amazing what you can find. I'm needing chicken broth for this recipe, and I went to Costco yesterday and I had picked up a chicken that was already cooked. So we had our meal, we tore it all apart, and I put all the bones, skin, whatever I could find left over from the chicken, and I've had this simmering for about 4 hours on the stove. So I've got a really nice chicken broth, and I'm going to use it for this recipe. But you can use chicken broth out of a box or a jar, whatever you get in the grocery store. But I do like to do this, and even with my hams I do this. I like to try and make as much broth as I possibly can, or my roast if I get bones or whatever. So I just wanted to point this out. So I will strain all this, and then we will use it in our recipe. So I have a large head of cauliflower. It's a little expensive right now. The market is so up and down, it's crazy. And what I'm going to do is I use the whole thing. I use all the inners. I don't just use the florets, because I'm going to puree it anyway. And there's nothing wrong with it. When you bite into it, it tastes the same as the other. So I use all of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just slicing it, and I've strained my chicken broth, and I needed 3 cups. So I've got 3 cups on the stove that I'm boiling. Now I'm going to add my cauliflower to it and let it cook for about 15 minutes, and it should be nice and soft. Let's add the cauliflower. Get all my little pieces in here. I probably should have had a bigger pot so that it would have all the cauliflower in the juices. Or if I cut them a little bit smaller, it would have worked a little bit better. So you just know what to do when you put yours in here, and then you'll know just to make them a little smaller. So I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to let that boil. I'm going to turn it down a little bit and keep it boiling lightly, and about 15 minutes. While my cauliflower is cooking, I've got 2 chicken breasts. They're frozen, and I actually buy them from Costco also. I'm not sure if you guys are Costco shoppers, but I sure am. And I usually buy my stuff frozen because I just find it lasts longer, and I just like the flavor that this has to offer. So I've got them in a skillet, and I'm adding a little bit of water into the bottom just to cover the bottom. And then I've added herbamare on top, my favorite spice. So I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm just going to let that cook. So once I've got it basically thawed out or whatever, I'll gradually turn it over, add some more herbamare, and get my chicken ready for this recipe. My chicken is thawed. I've turned it over. I've added more herbamare on top, and I'll just keep the lid off and let the water disappear and get it a little brown on each side. I ended up draining the excess water, and then I just want to kind of sear the outer edge because my chicken is cooked, so I'm just doing that, and then we'll set that aside, and we're going to saute some butter and some garlic. Now I just wiped out the skillet I was using, and now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of salted butter, and we're going to let that melt. And then I've got 6 cloves of garlic, and I chopped up the garlic, so I wanted sort of the bigger pieces instead of using my garlic crusher and crushing them all up. So we're going to just heat this up enough that we get that beautiful smell, the odor of garlic. So I just added the garlic and butter into my Ninja mixer, and now we're going to add in the cauliflower. So now I'm just going to take a spoon that has holes in it, and I'm going to start putting my cauliflower into my food processor. And then when I've got it all in there, I'm going to take a cup of the broth, and I'm going to also put a cup in. So I'm just going to take a cup of the broth, and then pour this in. I'll get the lid on it, and I'm going to puree it. So I don't know if you can see it, but here is the consistency I have right at this moment. I just wanted you to kind of have an idea. I want it a little bit runnier than that, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I am using Kraft 100% Parmesan. The other Parmesan that come in the block, it's so expensive. And I quite like the flavor of the powder that Kraft has, so I use it. So we're just going to blend this up. One thing I did forget was my 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to put that in, I'll blend it all, and then we are ready to go here. So I poured the Alfredo sauce into a measuring cup just to show you I got approximately 4 cups. And now we're going to just saute up some broccoli, and we're ready to put our meal together. So let's add our broccoli. This is 2 small heads of broccoli. And I'm just going to cook them in butter. And I want them to be partially cooked so that we still have that little bit of crunch, because I love the crunch in my vegetables. I'm actually going to put the lid on just so that I can get a little bit of the moisture in there, a little bit of steaming with it. So that took maybe not even 5 minutes to do the broccoli, and they're bright green, they're beautiful. So we're ready to put everything together. So we're just going to put our meal together, and I've got enough to make more servings in, I think it's 6 servings of this recipe, but I'm only going to do 2 because my husband and I are having supper together. So I've got a tablespoon of butter in the bottom of the pan, and I've got my zucchini all zoodled up. And so now I'm going to put in some of my broccoli that I had cooked up earlier. And then I'm going to put approximately a cup of my Alfredo sauce, because I think a cup will be plenty for the 2 of us. And if not, I've got a lot more I can add to it. So I'm just going to mix this up, and I'm not going to cook the zucchini thoroughly because I want to have that little bit of crispness, and I got the crispness in my broccoli also. So I'm just going to heat this up. Looks like I put plenty of sauce in there for the 2 of us, and we'll be ready to serve. So I'm going to just put some on our plate. I should have cut my zoodles a little bit shorter because they're quite long still. And then we will add some of our chicken. And there, we're ready to serve. So here is my low carb chicken Alfredo. Very nice. Got that nice garlic flavor. You can taste the Parmesan and mix your chicken in there. Very good. I'm quite impressed. If you'd like to go to lowcarbrecipe.com, you can try this recipe and try some of my other ones. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.